Bhutva Bhutva Praliyate. Ratri Agame Vasa Parata Prabhavanti Ahar Agame. And then again and again, when Brahma's day arrives, all living entities come into being. And with the arrival of Brahma's night, they are helplessly annihilated. Purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. The less intelligent who try to remain within this material world may be elevated to higher planets, and then again must come down to this planet Earth. During the daytime of Brahma, they can exhibit their activities on higher and lower planets within this material world. But at the coming of Brahma's night, they are all annihilated. In the day, they receive various bodies from material entities. And at night, they no longer have bodies, but remain compact in the body of Vishnu. Then again, they are manifest at the arrival of Brahma's day. Bhutva Bhutva Praliyate. During the day, they become manifest, and at night, they are annihilated again. Ultimately, when Brahma's life is finished, they are all annihilated and remain unmanifest for millions and millions of years. And when Brahma is born again in another millennium, they are again manifest. In this way, they are captivated by the spell of the material world. But those intelligent persons who take to Krishna consciousness use the human life fully in the devotional service of the Lord, chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Thus, they transfer themselves, even in this life, to the spiritual planet of Krishna and become eternally blissful there, not being subject to such rebirths. Well, we should pay a lot of attention to this verse. You notice whenever there's a verse in which one can attain liberation, there's always the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. The Hare Krishna Maha Mantra is the easiest and the most, let's say, perfect mantra to help people make spiritual advancement in this age of Kali Yuga and transfer themselves, even in this lifetime, to the spiritual planet of Krishna and become eternally blissful there, not being subject to rebirths. Text number 20. Parat tasmat bhava nyo vyaktovya tat sanatana yasasarve subhutesu nasatsu na vinastyati. Yet there is another unmanifest nature, which is eternal and is transcendental to this manifested and unmanifested matter. It is supreme and is never annihilated. When all in this world is annihilated, that part remains as it is. Obviously, he's talking about the transcendental spiritual worlds, where there's no birth, death, old age, and disease. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Krishna's superior spiritual energy is transcendental and eternal. It is beyond all the changes of material nature, which is manifest and annihilated during the days and nights of Brahma. Krishna's superior energy is completely opposite in quality to material nature. Superior and inferior nature are explained in the 7th chapter. Okay. So now we're reading from the 8th chapter. So the superior and inferior nature explained in the 7th chapter. Let's take a look. We already read the 7th chapter, but let's see. refresh our memory. Okay. Yeah, so there's some really nice verses in the 7th chapter. Okay. Naham Prakasasarvasya. This is chapter 7, verse number 25. Aham Prakasasarvasya Yogamaya Samanvritaha Mudo Yam Navijanati Lokamam Atam Avyayam. This is 7th chapter, 25th verse. I am never manifest to the foolish and unintelligent. For them, I am covered by my internal potency. And therefore, they do not know that I am unborn and infallible. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. It may be argued that since Krishna was present on this earth and was visible to everyone, then why isn't he manifest to everyone now? Very good question. But actually, he was not manifest to everyone. When Krishna was present, there were only a few people who could understand him to be the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In the assembly of Kurus, when Sisupala spoke against Krishna's being elected president of the assembly, Bhisma supported him, meaning Krishna, and proclaimed him, meaning Krishna, to be the Supreme God. Similarly, the Pandavas and a few others knew that he, Krishna, was the Supreme, but not everyone, even though they were seeing him, even though they might even be related to him. In the assembly of the Kurus, when Sisupala spoke against Krishna's being elected president of the assembly, Bhisma supported Krishna and proclaimed him to be the Supreme God. Similarly, the Pandavas and a few others knew that he was the Supreme, but not everyone. He was not revealed to the non-devotees and the common man. Therefore, in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says that but for his pure devotees, all men consider him to be like themselves, meaning like an ordinary person. Mm-hmm. But to others, to unintelligent non-devotees, he was covered by his internal potency. In the prayers of Kunti in the Srimad Bhagavatam 1.8.19, it is said that the Lord is covered by the curtain of Yogamaya, and thus ordinary people cannot understand him. This Yogamaya curtain is also confirmed in the Ishopanishad Mantra 15, in which the devotee prays, Hiranmayana Patrina Satyasya Pitam Kam Tatvam Kusam Apavrinu Satyadharmaya Drishtaye. Oh my Lord, you are the maintainer of the entire universe, and devotional service to you is the highest religious principle. Therefore, I pray that you will also maintain me. Your transcendental form is covered by the Yogamaya. The Brahmajyoti is the covering of the internal potency. May you kindly remove this glowing effulgence that impedes my seeing your Satchitananda Vigraha, your eternal form of bliss and knowledge. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, in his transcendental form of bliss and knowledge, is covered by the internal potency of the Brahmajyoti. And the less intelligent impersonalist cannot see the Supreme Entity. Also in the Srimad Bhagavatam 10.14.7, there is this prayer by Brahma. O Supreme Personality of Godhead, O Super Soul, O Master of all mystery, who can calculate your potency and pastimes in this world? You are always expanding your internal potency, and therefore, no one can understand you. Learned scientists and learned scholars can examine the atomic constitution of the material world or even the planets, but still they're unable to calculate your energy and potency, although you are present before them. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Krishna, is not only unborn, but also avyaya, inexhaustible. His eternal form is bliss and knowledge, and his energies are all inexhaustible. Well, that's a nice word, inexhaustible. It means it can never come to an end. It's eternal. That's another way of saying meaning of inexhaustible. Something that's eternal. Okay, so here it says, there's a prayer by Brahma. O Supreme Personality Godhead, O Super Soul, O Master of all mystery, who can calculate your potency and pastimes in this world? You are always expanding your internal potency, and therefore no one can understand you. Now, see, that's a very, very profound statement. If you try and measure Krishna, as soon as you think you come to the end of the measure, Krishna expands. So you'll never be able to measure Krishna. He's always expanding. That's just one aspect of his transcendental qualities. That's why it says, learned scientists and learned scholars can examine the atomic constitution of the material world or even the planets, but still they are unable to calculate your energy and potency, although you are present before them. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Krishna, is not only unborn, but also avyaya, inexhaustible. In other words, you'll never come to the end of his qualities and pastimes and anything related to him. They are all inexhaustible or transcendental or eternal. His eternal form is bliss and knowledge, and his energies are all inexhaustible. His energies are also eternal. And then this verse that mentioned, the Upanishad Mantra 15, Hiranmayana Patrina Satyasya Pitam Vakam Tattvam Pusamapavrina Satyadharmaya Dristaye. Oh my Lord, you are the maintainer of the entire universe. And devotional service to you is the highest religious principle. Therefore, I pray that you will also maintain me. Your transcendental form is covered by the Yogamaya. The Brahmajyoti is the covering of the internal potency. May you kindly remove this glowing effulgence that impedes my seeing your Satchitananda Vigraha, your eternal form of bliss and knowledge, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and his transcendental form of bliss and knowledge is covered by the internal potency of the Brahmajyoti, and less intelligent persons cannot see the Supreme on this account. That's why you have to pray to the Lord to take away the curtain of inexhaustible light or the Brahmajyoti that covers him and protects him. This is called the curtain of Yogamaya. And because of that curtain of Yogamaya, ordinary people cannot understand Krishna. Okay. So, therefore, this prayer, Hiranmayana Patrina Satyasya Pitam Vakam Tattvam Pusamapavrina Satyadharmaya Dristaye. It's a prayer by the devotee, the sincere devotee, asking or pleading to the Lord. And first, one glorifies the Lord and then makes a request. So it says, "Oh my Lord, you're the maintainer of the entire universe, and devotional service to you is the highest religious principle. Therefore, I pray that you will also maintain me. Your transcendental form is covered by the Yogamaya. The Brahmajyoti is the covering of the internal potency. May you kindly remove this glowing effulgence that impedes my seeing your Satchitananda Vigraha, your eternal form of bliss and knowledge." Okay. So, even if a person is highly advanced in Krishna consciousness, but that doesn't mean he will be able to see Krishna. One can only see Krishna if Krishna permits him. And he'll only be revealed to his pure devotees. So, the Lord is covered by the Brahmajyoti, and it's the covering of the internal potency. So one has to pray to the Lord to please remove the glowing effulgence that impedes seeing your Satchitananda Vigraha, your eternal form of bliss and knowledge. So there is you can see, we can see certain things, like we can see tables and we can see trees and so many different things. But to see Krishna is very, very special. And one has to actually pray to the Lord and be surrendered to the Lord and be engaged in devotional service to be able to get a glimpse of the Supreme Lord. Parikshit Maharaj, when he was in the womb of his mother, the demon threw an atomic bomb into the womb of the mother, and Krishna entered into the womb of the mother and protected the baby in the womb. And at that time, the baby in the womb had a glimpse of Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Now, later on, when he was pushed out into the material world, his name is Parikshit. Parikshit means he's always seeking to see Krishna. Because he had a vision of him while he was in the womb. So when he got out of the womb, he was looking for Krishna. So the rest of his life, he was always seeking to get the vision of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Yeah. So there's this prayer by Brahma: "O Supreme Personality Godhead of Super Soul, O Master of all mystery, who can calculate your potency and pastime in this world? You are always expanding your internal potency, and therefore no one can understand you." So the internal potency of the Lord is completely spiritual and is unlimited. So as soon as we think we know everything about Krishna, then Krishna expands himself. And then we realize, there's more. So you can never come to the end of Krishna's transcendental qualities, pastimes, knowledge, etc. As soon as we think, now I know everything, immediately Krishna expands. So we'll never really know everything about Krishna, but we can know certain things with certitude. That is, that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and he is the creator of everything. Everything that emanates from him, everything will be wound up in him, and he is not subject to any of the laws of material nature. He is the lawmaker of material nature. So once we begin to understand Krishna's transcendental qualities, that's when we start to become a devotee. And here it says, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Krishna, is not only unborn, but also avyaya, inexhaustible. His eternal form is bliss and knowledge, and his energies are all inexhaustible, meaning he's eternal. So to understand Krishna is a very rare thing. And to be able to understand Krishna, you have to completely surrender to the Lord through the pure devotees of the Lord. They can help you surrender. And then you can become enlightened as far as is humanly possible of who Krishna is and how to please Krishna through devotional service. So everything about Krishna is eternal, inexhaustible. So it's impossible to understand everything about Krishna. But we can understand certain things, essential things, that he's the Supreme Personality of Godhead, that he has inexhaustible qualities and potencies, and that he's the God of all gods, and that we should surrender unto him and engage in his devotional service. Text 26. Vedaham samatitani vartamanani charjuna bhavishyani chabutani mam tu vedana kashchana. O Arjuna, as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, I know everything that has happened in the past, all that is happening in the present, and all things that are yet to come. I also know all living entities, but me, no one knows. Now, no one can make a statement like that. You know anyone can make a statement like that? No. Mm-hmm. Krishna knows past, present, and future. Well, it's possible to study history that you can know past. You can know the present, but you're not going to know the future. Mm-hmm. So, and here it says the question of personality and impersonality is clearly stated. If Krishna, the form of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, were Maya or material, as the impersonalists consider him to be, then like the living entity, he would change his body and forget everything about his past life. Anyone with a material body cannot remember his past life, nor can he foretell his future life, nor can he predict the outcome of his present life. Therefore, he cannot know what is happening in the past, present, and future. Unless one is liberated from material contamination, he cannot know past, present, and future. Unlike the ordinary human being, Lord Krishna clearly says that he completely knows what happened in the past, what is happening in the present, and what will happen in the future. In the 4th chapter, we have seen that Lord Krishna remembers instructing Vivaswan, the sun god, millions of years ago. Krishna knows every living entity because he is situated in every living being's heart as the supersoul. But despite his presence in every living entity as the supersoul and his presence as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the less intelligent, even if able to realize the impersonal Brahman, cannot realize Sri Krishna as the Supreme Person. Certainly, the transcendental body of Sri Krishna is not perishable. He is just like the sun, and Maya is like a cloud. In the material world, we can see that there is the sun and that there are clouds and different stars and planets. The clouds may cover all these in the sky temporarily, but this covering is only apparent to our limited vision. The sun, moon, and stars are not actually covered. Similarly, Maya cannot cover the Supreme Lord. By his internal potency, he is not manifest to the less intelligent class of men. As it is stated in the third verse of this chapter, out of millions and millions of men, some try to become perfect in this human form of life. And out of thousands and thousands of such perfected men, hardly one can understand what Lord Krishna is. Even if one is perfected by realization of impersonal Brahman or localized Paramatma, he cannot possibly understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, without being in Krishna consciousness. Okay, so that implies that if you are in Krishna consciousness all the time, you will be able to understand. But if you're not Krishna conscious, you'll never understand. No matter how smart you are or how many PhDs you have, you will not understand the Lord. Okay, what time is it?
7:35 minutes.
Yeah. All right. Are there any questions that anyone would like to ask?
So pure devotees also cannot understand Krishna.
You won't be able to understand everything.
Everything they understand.
But you understand the most important,
Most
the
important.
Supreme Personality of Godhead, and that he is in your hearts, and he is in the heart of all living entities. Once you understand that, you become a civilized person. When someone is a murderer, he doesn't have the understanding that God or Krishna is in the heart of every living entity. But once we understand that Krishna or God is in the heart of every living entity, our heart, and in the heart of every living entity, we become a civilized person. And not only human beings, he's in the heart of all living entities. So that means we become civilized. And when we look at a person, we don't exactly see the body. We see the presence of Krishna in the body. That's the vision of an advanced devotee. Therefore, he cannot perform, mean, nasty, treatments of animals or human beings, because he knows the presence of Krishna in the heart of all living entities. In order to engage in sinful activity, you have to forget Krishna. And how can you forget Krishna? Krishna helps you. Without Krishna's help, you can't do anything. So Krishna will help you forget him. Then you can engage in sinful activities. If you're always Krishna conscious, you can't engage in sinful activities. So, our takeaway today. Therefore, the monistic contention that ultimate truth is formless and that form is imposed does not hold true. See, this the whole idea of imposition is false. That means just like if there's a statue, well, the statue has been built, right? And that's an imposition. It's something that has been made by human beings. But it's clearly stated here that it is not imposed. In other words, it says Therefore, the monist's contention that ultimate truth is formless and that form is imposed does not hold true. It is clearly stated here that it is not imposed. No, Krishna has an eternal body. His body is not made by any human being. From the Bhagavad Gita, we can clearly understand that the forms of the demigods and the forms of the Supreme Lord are simultaneously existing, and that Lord Krishna is Satchitananda, eternal blissful knowledge. The Vedas also confirm that the Supreme Absolute Truth is Anandamaya Vyasa, or by nature, full of blissful pleasure, and that he is the reservoir of unlimited auspicious qualities. And in the Gita, the Lord says that although he is Aja, unborn, he still appears. These are the facts that we should understand from the Bhagavad Gita. We cannot understand how the Supreme Personality of Godhead can be impersonal. The imposition theory of the impersonalist monist is false. As far as the statements of the Gita are concerned, it is clear herein that the Supreme Absolute Truth, Lord Krishna, has both form and personality. So what is this imposition theory? Well, it means that someone has made up Krishna. Just like you can make a mannequin, or you can make a form of a statue. That is not Krishna. Yeah, you can make statues, but Krishna is not just a statue. He's a living transcendental person. So he's not subject to he's not subject to this imposition theory. Okay, what is the imposition theory? It's the fact that the Lord is made by, just like you make a mannequin or you make a statue. That's an imposition. Look up the word imposition. IMPOS.
Imposition theory, often discussed in the context of politeness theory, refers to the idea that people are concerned about imposing on others and minimizing the burden they place on them.
Keep reading.
It is a core concept in understanding how individuals navigate social interactions and avoid face-threatening actions. Avoid and face threatening actions.
What else does it say?
Indirect language, using less direct language to soften the request or avoid putting the other person on the spot. Edges, adding qualifiers or softenings to statements to reduce the certainty of demand.
Anything else?
Apologies and expressions of regret, deference. What is important?
What is it? What does imposition mean?
Imposition meaning, Maharaj. The action or process of imposing something or of being imposed. The thing that is imposed, in particular an unfair or unwelcome demand or burden.
Okay.
Example is, I would like to see you, if that wouldn't be too much of an imposition.
Okay, so here it says, therefore the monistic contention that ultimate truth is formless and that form is imposed does not hold truth. Okay, so that means that
you are forcing something, usually an unwanted burden or someone else.
Krishna's body is not formless.
Mm.
But they assume, the Mayavadis assume that the absolute truth is formless, and you forcibly make a statue of him and claim that this is God.
Mm. Imposition means you force something, usually an unwanted burden or on someone else.
Yeah.
If your friends invite themselves over for dinner the night before your big test,
Yeah.
That's an imposition because you'll have to cook instead of studying.
In other words,
Forcing.
Krishna is not a statue that has been imagined in the mind of somebody, a sculptor, and imposed. Krishna's form is specific, is an explanation of what Krishna looks like. It's not a figment of someone's imagination. Okay, we're going to stop right there because I wanted to go to the temple.
Yes.
We cannot understand, takeaway today, we cannot understand how the Supreme Personality Godhead can be impersonal. The imposition theory of the impersonalist monist is false as far as the statements of the Gita are concerned. It is clear herein that the Supreme Absolute Truth, Lord Krishna, has both form and personality. So nothing is whimsically speculated about Krishna and his form. He hasn't been made like a mannequin is made, or let's say, picture or an art form is made. Those are impositions. Krishna has an eternal form that is not subject to birth, death, old age, and disease. So he's never been imposed. He's never been created by like a sculptor creates a statue. He has an eternal and inexhaustible transcendental body. So this imposition theory of the impersonalist monist is false as far as the statement of the Gita is concerned. It is clear here that the Supreme Absolute Truth, Lord Krishna, has both form and personality, and they are all transcendental and transcendental and eternal. So Krishna is not a figment of the imagination of an artist or a philosopher or whatever. He has a specific form that's eternal and inexhaustible. That is our takeaway today. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jai Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So is that where we were?
We were in 8.
No, we're in 8. Yeah, right. 8:12.
No, Maharaj, 8:22, I think.
8:22.
Right, Parvana?
Yeah, I think it was 22 by the time we got through.
Yes.
We started at 18.
18.
So.
Okay, good. 8:22. Thank you very much, my dear devotees. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. Are there any questions? Since there are no questions, thank you very much. Chant Hare Krishna and be happy.
Thank you.
Thank you.